What makes a system, and how's the supply chain a system?
Well, the supply chain is a system because it's one of these things where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And this is an observation that goes way, way back to Aristotle, because supply chains, if you like, are human activity systems. So they are complex arrangements of different components and different players, whether they be manufacturing plants, transport providers, warehouse operations, distribution centres, and all of the myriad players that they interact with, including NGOs and government organisations and customs and excise and all of these types of things. And what happens in a system like that is that the normal rules of cause and effect don't hold. So going back to what Aristotle said, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, that's the way supply chains are. They are wholes, if you like, made up of components, and they have what are called emergent properties. An emergent property might be the performance or the quality or the service that a supply chain delivers. But if you analyse a supply chain in its component parts, say at the warehouse level or the manufacturing plant level, you can't detect what the performance of the whole system is. You need to measure it and control it at the higher level. So in that way, fundamentally, a supply chain is a system. And then it has all of the other characteristics of a system as well, in the sense that it has components and interrelationships between those components that actually affect each other. So there are these feedback loops going on all the time. And the normal rules of cause and effect don't hold. So very small changes in one part of the system can have very, very big effects in other parts of the system. It's also a system in the sense that environmental factors come into play. It doesn't exist in isolation from the wider world. So like things like the regulatory environment or climate issues or security issues and so on. And then, of course, it's a system because it has a purpose. It exists for a purpose, and that may be to deliver a certain quality of output, a certain cost of output, a certain service level, or some other goal that the people who are interested in the system have in mind.